Thanks, Krish. Toastmaster Bharat, you can begin.
Welcome to the speech evaluation contest of VirtuoMaster Tutorial VirtuoMaster clubs. Let's start off with a huge roar of applause. So there are three main rules for this thing. First thing is be on mute always except the contest when speaking on the podium. And the second one is do not use am I audible, and because audio and visual checks will be done, hence it is considered that you are audible in the meeting. And if there is any technical issue for you, only the technical spoke will convey. And the last main rule is chat box can be used for any type of query during the online meeting. Please type in your query to our host and it will be taken care by our spokes. And let me now hand over the virtual podium to our contest chair of this contest, TM Sagar.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bharat, for that energetic introduction of yours. Today, we will be beginning the evaluation contest of VirtuoMasters Club, like Toastmaster Bharat said. Let me introduce myself. I am Toastmaster Sagar Singh Roy, and I will be acting as the contest chair for this particular contest. I'd like to begin by sharing the purpose of the contest defined by Toastmasters International. It is to provide an opportunity for speakers to improve their speaking abilities and to provide an opportunity for all Toastmasters to learn by observing speakers who have benefited from their Toastmasters training. In order to compete in a contest, a contestant has to be eligible. And to be eligible to compete in any official Toastmaster speech contest, a member must be a paid member of the club, division, and district in which he or she is competing. The club must also be in good standing. A new dual and reinstated member must have their dues and membership application current with world headquarters. The following are ineligible to compete in any Toastmasters contest: a member serving as a chief judge, voting judge, or tie-breaking judge beyond the club level for a contest in which the member is still competing or intends to compete. Incumbent international officers and directors, region advisors and region advisor applicants, district officers whose term expire June 30, 2022, international officer and director candidates, immediate past district directors, district officers or candidates campaigning for elected positions for the term beginning the upcoming July 1st, 2022. Presenters of education sessions at the event at which the contest will be held, including area, division, and district events, as well as the international convention. It is my duty to apprise you all about the rules and regulations which must be strictly observed during the contest to ensure that we conduct a fair contest. Please ensure that your microphone is always on mute. Please do not share any content during the contest. Only timer is allowed to display timer cards. Once the contest has begun, no one will be allowed in without the chief judge's permission. Members of the audience are asked to refrain from leaving. The chat option will be closed and will not be closed, will be host only, and you can only send a message to the host. In this contest, all the contestants will evaluate the same test speaker. After the test speaker has concluded speaking, the contestants will still be in the main room and where the timers will also be present. The contestants will be given 5 minutes to write their evaluation notes in the main room after the test speaker is done speaking. Post the 5 minutes, all the contestants are required to keep their notes sheets aside folded. The contestants will only write in the sheets pre-approved by the contest chair, which I'll be doing in some time. The sheet, please note, the sheet has to be a plain sheet and no other stationery is allowed near the speaker's area. The notes will be used by them during the 1 minute silence before they start their evaluation. Each contestant will be introduced by announcing the contestant's name, contestant number, and contestant name. For example, if the first contestant is Shagor Singh Roy, I will announce Shagor Singh Roy, contestant number 1, contestant number 1, Shagor Singh Roy. And that will be your cue to begin. Evaluations shall be from 2 to 3 minutes long. A contestant who speaks for less than 1 minute 30 seconds or more than 3 minutes 30 seconds will be disqualified. Before being introduced, the tech master will be conducting an audio video check and will confirm if the contestant is able to see the timer cards as well. Also, the contestants needs to be spotlighted. The timing will begin, please note, the timing will begin only from your first verbal and non-verbal communication with the audience, like I told yesterday. This usually will be the first word uttered by the contestant and would only include would include any other communication such as sound effects, a staged act, etc. Now let's go to the timer. Timer 1, Toastmaster Aparajita. This is for you. There will be the green card, so the white card will be there from the very beginning of the when the contestant starts speaking. The green card will be shown at 2 minutes and will remain up for 30 seconds. The yellow card will be shown at 2 minutes 30 seconds and will remain up for another 30 seconds. The red card will be displayed at 3 minutes and will remain up until the speech is concluded. The speaker has a grace period of 30 seconds on both sides beyond the time 2 to 3 minutes. No signal shall be given for the overtime period. There will be 2 minutes of silence between contestants. During the first minute, judges will mark the ballots, and during the second minute, the host will bring the contestant into the main room and set the camera and check the microphones. There will be 2 minutes of silence after the last contestant is done for the judges to mark the ballots and submit the same to the chief judge. Coming to the protests. Protests are limited to eligibility and originality and shall only be lodged by the voting judges and contestants. Any protest shall be lodged with the chief judge and or the contest chair prior to the announcement of the contest results. I have already checked that all the contestants qualify the eligibility criteria. As for originality, a maximum of 25% of the speech content can be borrowed, but the source of such content must be mentioned in the speech. Should there be a situation of a protest or for originality, the contestant will be given an opportunity to respond to the chief judge before any decision is taken. The speaking of the order of the contest was determined earlier by having our contestants draw off lots. I'll be repeating the order for this semi-finale 1, the contestants' order. The contestant number 1 is Shalu Gupta. Contestant number 2 is Auditro Bishwas. Contestant number 3 has backed out. Contestant number 4 is Obhijit Bose. Contestant number 5 is Panna Rashmi Ray. Contestant number 6 is Shilpa Agarwal. Contestant number 7 is Satyadeep Basu. Chief Judge, just one correction. I'm not sure whether I've sent you the correct one. Contestant number 6 will be Shilpa Agarwal. Okay, great. I will request every contestant to be on video from now on. I'll request Toastmaster Auditro to be on video. Toastmaster Auditro, can you please come on video? Perfect. Please note that from this point onward, please do not switch off your video. You have to be on video till the last contestant is done speaking and the 2 minutes is over. Great. The contest will be recorded on Zoom and any contest and will be shared on request. The Sergeant at Arms, please confirm whether all the contestants' hands are visible with them and at ease. So I'll request you, the contestants, to please make your hands visible. Also, please share your piece of papers, white paper, so that I can see. Just hold for a minute. Great. Toastmaster Auditro, you can turn it over. Okay. Toastmaster Abhijit, just bring it here. Great. Toastmaster Auditro, just one more time. Turn over. Perfect. I confirm that all the piece of papers are correct and blank as of now. Our chief judge for today is Toastmaster Yashika. So a big round of cheer for Toastmaster Yashika for being there. I'd like to ask Madam Chief Judge, I also confirm that all the contestants and sergeant arms are briefed by me, the contest chair. Request you to kindly confirm whether all the contest officials are briefed and are present in the room.
All the contest.
Perfect. I also forgot one thing. Just before we begin the contest, I'd like to request our timers to just check your timer cards if that's not been done yet. Toastmaster Aparajita, we'll start with you. Perfect. Can you go to the switch the cards? I mean, go to the next slides. Green, yellow, and red. Yellow, red. Perfect. I'll request timer 2, Toastmaster Akanksha, if you also can repeat this same exercise. Perfect. Can you go to the next slides? Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Akanksha and Toastmaster Aparajita. So our timer 1 will be Toastmaster Aparajita, who will be showing the timer cards for the speeches and evaluations. Also, I'd like to ask the host, that is Toastmaster Krish, whether the meeting entry and whether the waiting room is open or not. And the only admission from now on will be made by our chief judge.
Done.
Perfect. I'd like to ask our Madam Chief Judge, do I have your permission to begin this contest? Thank you so much, Toastmaster Yashika. 1 minute. Our first test speaker for today is Toastmaster Hansa. So I'd like to request Toastmaster Hansa to switch on her video. Great. I'm spotlighting Toastmaster Hansa. I'd like to request Toastmaster Hansa to repeat after me. It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
Perfect. I confirm that you're both audible and visible. I will request the timer to share the timer cards once.
White.
Toastmaster Aparajita, please move on to the next slides.
Green. Yellow. Red.
Okay, great. I have confirmed that you are both audible and visible. You are able to see the timer cards properly and have been spotlighted. So our test speaker for today is Toastmaster Hansa with the speech title, Fear of Judgment. Fear of Judgment, Toastmaster Hansa. Over to you.
When we take birth, we know nothing about being feared or being judged. We try to crawl down the stairs, put our hands into electric sockets, or even eat with our fingers with the food all over our face. Because we know nothing about being feared or being judged by others. But as we grow in this beautiful thing called life, we start to acquire fear. We acquire the fear of judgment. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and to everyone present in this room. Today, I, Hansa Kaushik, will be presenting my speech titled The Fear of Judgment. So many of us don't take action because we are scared of being judged. Be it me or anyone else in this virtual room, we have experienced a rather unkind judgment from someone at some point in our lives. Now, I was not a fan of making different hairstyles. I used to be pretty straightforward and blunt, and I had no fans or any interest in growing nails. Now, mind you, don't notice in my nails right now, because the story that I'm iterating right now is about my childhood. Now, during my childhood, my favorite color was not pink. And like, let's not forget, as kids, we all believed that pink is feminine and blue is masculine. So I remember the students of my class would pass on some nasty comments on me, like, Hansa, are you even a girl? So I became overconscious of myself. Every time I would walk out of the house, I would be like, am I walking more ladylike? Or is this the way am I supposed to behave? I decided that I'm going to change myself. I will try to live up to others' expectation. And I I became so conscious of myself that I could not take part in any group meetings. I would just shy away from everyone. In fact, I would never take any participation in any kind of group discussions. So one fine day, I had my sister. She had a really deep and heartwarming conversation with me. And she said, Hansa, I have been noticing you from a very long time. Why do you look so scared and submissive? Is everything fine with you? And this almost made me cry. I had been carrying a heavy baggage of others' expectations, their opinions with me from a very long time. I had not been able to feel like me. So I told her everything that I was going through. And then she said something which really changed the way I think. She said, Hansa, I believe that God has made us all unique, and we should never try to take that uniqueness away. Now, the advice she gave me was very good, but difficult to implement because you can't just change altogether in one go. This was a process and it took some time. The first thing that I did was I started to accept myself about who I was. I decided that I'm going to take some active participation in the group discussions, in group meetings. In fact, I will contribute in them actively. And that's when I noticed that how a simple change from my side, that was to accept myself, changed the behavior of others towards me. And this helped me to regain my confidence. Now, the thing I want to say to all of you is that I am not a motivational speaker or an influencer, but this was a sincere attempt to share my biggest fear, that is the fear of judgment in an evaluation contest. The fact is that we as humans tend to bring in this fear of judgment on our way of being happy. We try to live up to others' expectations, their choices, their opinions, and we also start to wear different masks. However, we still remain a target of their opinions and their judgments. But we should never forget that a great man once said, you are the artist of your own life. Don't hand the paintbrush to someone else. So we all need to come together and work for the good. We should feel contented with whatever we are and whatever we do. We should not make fun of anyone's flaws or their imperfections, nor we should lament about them because we are all perfect in our own way. And if someone next time tries to snide a comment on you, just smile and say that I refuse to live in the fear of someone else's judgment. And whenever given a choice, I choose me. Thank you.
Thank you, test speaker. I will request timer number 2 to show a red card once the 5 minutes are over. Thank you. Thank you. Timer 2. I'll request all the contestants to please stop writing and fold your papers and please let it be visible on screen. Toastmaster Shilpa, Toastmaster Auditro. Okay, so Toastmaster Auditro, please fold it. More folds, more folds. Thank you. I'll request our tech master. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll request our tech master to create a breakout room and please send the contestants except the first contestant, the sergeant at arms, and our chief judge, Toastmaster Yashika, once. Please note that it should be visible while you are in the breakout room. Please make the sheet of paper visible. Keep your video on and audio on as well. Okay, in the breakout room. Audio on is and as well in the breakout room. Toastmaster Krish would need a confirmation.
Regarding?
Should I be assigning them in the breakout room?
Please do.
Okay, thank you. I've opened the breakout room. Please join there. We will wait for a few minutes till the chief judge is coming back to the main room. We have our Madam Chief Judge in the main room. So, Madam Chief Judge, shall we start the contest? Madam Chief Judge, your video is stuck, I guess. Okay, she got dropped off. Let's wait for 1 minute.
Sorry, now I'm back.
Yes, so shall we start?
Yes, please.
Thank you. We will first do the audio video check of Toastmaster contestant number 1, Toastmaster Shalu. Toastmaster Shalu, please repeat after me. It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
A beautiful evening to have this contest.
Perfect.
Toastmaster sir, can I charge my laptop, please, once?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you can also open your sheet if you want to see. And Toastmaster Aparajita, can you please share your screen, the timer cards? Can you, Toastmaster Shalu, can you please confirm the color that is visible on screen?
White, green, yellow, red.
Perfect. I confirm that you're both audible and visible. You're able to see the timer cards properly and you are spotlighted. Now let's begin. Shalu Gupta, contestant number 1. Contestant number 1, Shalu Gupta.
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster, respected judges, contest chair, and Toastmaster Hansa in particular. Your speech was wonderful. There are lots of points which I liked and disliked, but I want to share some of them with you. The points which I like. First, title. Very relatable. Fear of judgment. Everyone can relate. I can also relate because before participating in this contest, I had also the fear of judgment. How will I perform? Second, opening. Your opening was very good. You said, when someone takes birth, he has no fear of judgment. I have also one child, my daughter, Samriddhi. She is 2 years old now. She has no fear of judgment. She jump here and there, but she has no fear. What will mama say? But as she grow, she might some fear. Mama will beat, mama will slap her. But as now, she has no fear. Third, hand gestures. I like your hand gesture. Sometime it was this, but your hand gestures were this like. But my friends, as you know, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. And Toastmaster Hansa, for your room of improvement, I want to share some recommendations for you. First, stage drafting. Your stage drafting was not so good. Like when you were talking with your sister, you can use the one side of your stage. And when you are talking about childhood, then someone takes birth, you can use this side of stage. Second, vocal variety. Your voice was same at all the time. When your sister was saying to you, I am noticing from long time, then you could say, Hansa, I'm noticing for long time. Are you upset or something like that? Third, conclusion and message. Speech structure. Your speech structure was good, but there are a lot of time you could incorporate more in that. And conclusion. As I said, you had lot of time. You can conclude more. You could conclude better and give a better message. So for as a summary, for a summarization, I want to say you had good title, good opening, and speech drafting. But for recommendation point, you could refer stage drafting, vocal variety, conclusion, and message. So this is from my side. Over to you, contest chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Contestant number 1. We will observe 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. I'll request timer 2 to share one red card once the minute is over. I'll also request contestant number 1 to keep her video on and audio off. Thank you. Thank you. Timer 2. We have our contestant number 2 in the main room. You can open your sheet and you can see, but we will do a quick audio video check for yours. Please unmute and repeat after me. It's a beautiful evening to have this contest. Please unmute. Please do not write anything. You can read it, but you cannot write.
It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
Perfect. I will be spotlighting you. I will request our timer to share the timer's card. Please confirm the color that will be visible on your screen. Please confirm.
White,
Yeah.
green, yellow, red.
Okay. I will request our timer 1 to keep the timer card visible throughout. Like throughout means when the contestant is speaking. White all the way, then green all the way, yellow all the way, and red all the way. Okay. Keep that on. Let's begin. I confirm that our contestant number 2 is both audible and visible and is able to see the timer cards properly and has been spotlighted. Auditro Vishwas, contestant number 2. Contestant number 2, Auditro Vishwas.
Good evening, everyone present here, and especially Hansa. What a formidable speaker you are. And I would like to appreciate your choice of the topic. I understand it is not easy to speak on it, especially when you're sharing a personal anecdote. That too in a contest where people are sitting, tens of people are sitting just to judge you. So kudos for that. Fear of judgment, isn't that something we all can relate to some extent? And you did a beautiful job. When you started, you had a bright beaming smile on your face. You were very actively using hand gestures, and you had positioned the camera very well. So like everything you did, even if you moved around, the entirety of your performance was visible. There was no glitches at all. You brought on a great deal of energy while speaking, and we all, I think, felt that, at least I did. I like you that engaged the audience to a great extent and kept the whole thing lively. I loved it when after your introduction and your salutations, you paused for a little bit as if you're frozen. And after that, you were like rubbing your hands like this. I'm so sorry. You were pressing your hands against each other as if you are in a as if you're frozen, as if anxiety has taken over you or something, and then you began. It was a great touch, I think, like to further illustrate your point, what it feels like when you're presenting yourself to be judged. Apart from that, I think your entire speech was very well rehearsed. You leaned down towards the camera while uh, while you were narrating the conversation you had with your friend, and your friend said, "Are you even a girl?" You leaned down in front of the camera to basically highlight it. I think that was great. You, and while narrating your conversation with your sister, you turned towards your right, and the audience had no, or at least I had no problem guessing who is the speaker. Is it you, or is it you are narrating your part, or you are narrating your sister's part? So you had made that very clear by using these little visual cues for the audience. Your voice modulation was great. You accentuated words properly. So when you said, I accept myself, I will actively participate, I will contribute to group discussions, all those things, I think the notes were on point. Like you had put proper impact in those specific words. Your entire speech had a great narrative to it. So it was very well structured, how you developed issues, how you struggled with it, how you then finally you came out with it, and you worked on yourself and finally accepted yourself. It was very well stitched together. Also, you had some very great lines in it, like you are the painter of your own, you're the artist of your own life, don't put your paintbrushes in someone else's pocket. I think that was I love that line. Now just a few points, some recommendations. I think when you ended your speech, you use something like, I refuse. When someone judges you, just say to them that I refuse to be judged by you, and then you said something very long, which, so I believe that when you're delivering towards the end, you shouldn't really use so many words. I mean, if the same message can be conveyed with lesser number of words, the impact goes on, like goes up exponentially. So in that fashion, your last statement had has a lesser recall value now. Like, I don't remember what you said. Like, had it been like 4 5 words, I would have remembered it, would have carried with me. So your speech could have ended at a higher note, is what I'm saying. And of course, there was a significant amount of time left after you had finished your speech. So you could have used more pauses in your speech. Sometimes I felt like you were just rushing from one part to another. You were not spacing it out properly. So had you paused properly and you judiciously used pauses, I think that increase further enhances the engagement with the audience. So like these two would be my recommendations. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 2. I'll request 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. I'll request the timer 2 to showcase the red card once the 1 minute is over. And I'll request the contestant number 1 and 2 to keep their video on and audio off till the last contestant is done speaking. Thank you, timer 2. We have our fourth contestant, Toastmaster Abhijit Bose, in the main room. You can open your sheet and you can look into it. But in the meanwhile, we will do the audio video check as well. So please repeat after me. It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
Perfect. I confirm that you're both audible and visible. I'll request timer 1 to share the cards. And I'll request you to let us know which color is visible on screen.
White, green, yellow, red.
Perfect. I confirm that you're both audible and visible and able to see the timer cards properly. Master Aparajita, please take it to the white one. Thank you. We will begin now. Abhijit Bose, contestant number 4. Contestant number 4, Abhijit Bose.
Greetings, Toastmasters, contest chair, and the speaker, particularly. There is a famous quote by Satya Nadella which says, to access the quality of people, don't listen to their words, but watch their actions. Today, the actions of the speaker spoke. The speech title, Fear of Judgment, it was an excellent topic, especially in this current era where we are often judged by the society. And yes, we are often in that fear of getting judged. So that was an excellent take on the topic by the speaker. Commendations are, so we actually got inspired by you on the take on the topic, like irrespective of how much fear you acquire, we should remain confident. That was an excellent inspiration given to us. You had a great hand gesture. You utilized your virtual resource properly, especially the background curtain. It was quite fancy. It added a good essence to that. And you also simply encouraged us that whatever we are, whatever we have in our hands, we should be happy. We should never regret. So that was also an excellent application which you implied in the topic. Apart from that, there are certain recommendations or suggestions which I want to give you personally. First is your pace of speech. Like at one point of time, whenever you had that encounter with your friend, the pace of your speech went flat. Like for example, you there was a sentence which mentioned, "Wow, you are unique." You should have mentioned, "Wow, you are unique." Means there is some change. There is some change in the tone. So if you would have brought that change, that would have added a bit more flavor to the topic. And another recommendation I have is the application which you used with your friend, like the example. Like you should have kept that example a bit more simple. Like if you see fear of judgment, like in this current era, there are people who are addicted to smoking or they are addicted to alcohol. We should have used that example because it would have connected with the audience properly. Otherwise, this particular example was also brilliant. Great job there. Overall, love the take on the topic. You had a very good virtual resource overall, and you also gave us an encouragement. You also inspired us that we should never stop ourselves from moving forward if the world is judging us. Only recommendation is you may try to bring in some fluctuation in your voice modulation that will add some more essence, and we will be able to get a bit more inspiration with your topic, whatever you are speaking. So overall, great take on the topic, and I wish that I can hear you more and more in the coming future. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, contestant number 4. I'll request one thing. Please remove your virtual background. That is not allowed for the contest. Thank you. I'll request 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. And I'll request timer 2 to share a red card once the 1 minute is over. And I'll request the current contestants who have just finished speaking to keep their video on and audio off. Thank you. Thank you, timer 2. We have contestant number 5 in the main room. We will proceed with an audio video check. So Toastmaster Panna, please repeat after me. It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
Can you repeat once more?
It's a beautiful evening to have this contest. I mean,
Yeah, you're in between. Sometimes your voice is not able to, we're not able to hear.
it's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
Now it's perfect. Will you be standing here?
1 minute, let me. Yeah, I'll be standing here.
Yes, can you repeat once more?
It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
Okay, sometimes it's happening. So Toastmaster Yashika, should we go ahead with this? Is it okay?
Toastmaster Panna, do you have any backup device you would like to join from?
1 minute, let me just try this.
Yes, please.
It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
Perfect. Your audio and video is now good. Toastmaster Oparajita, can you please share the timer cards? Toastmaster Panna, please confirm the color that is visible on screen.
1 minute, it is white. It's green.
मासी देखो ये सुसु की है यहाँ से वहां तक की है.
Sorry. Okay.
Yellow,
Okay.
red, yeah.
Okay. I confirm that you're both audible and visible. You're able to see the timer cards properly, and you have been spotlighted. Panna Rashmi Ray, contestant number 5. Contestant number 5, Panna Rashmi Ray.
To smile in front of judgment and being true to oneself is a very, very difficult thing. And Toastmaster Hamza, today you have inspired us with this beautiful speech of yours. Kudos to you on that. On the chairman, judges, and my dear test speaker Hamza. Good evening to everyone. Let me share with you all what I specifically liked about this speech. Firstly, Toastmaster Hamza, I love the way you justified your title. The title was Fear of Judgment, and you straight away went into speaking about what is fear and fear of judgment. And your entire speech was about anecdotes about how we should overcome the fear of judgment. Kudos to you on that. Secondly, Toastmaster Hamza, I loved your body modulation. Body modulation is when your body and your actions, your speech is in sync with each other. When you spoke about masks, when you spoke about not giving the paintbrush in someone else's hand, it was completely in sync, and kudos to you on that too. Thirdly, Toastmaster Hamza, you had a fantastic, powerful conclusion with a call to action to smile in front of people judging you and being able to be true to yourself. Wow, what a fantastic message to take home, and I'm going to remember that. These were the beautiful segments of your speech, Toastmaster Hamza. Let me give you a few recommendations which will make your speech spectacular on the whole. So what are these recommendations? Firstly, Toastmaster Hamza, I felt that there was one incomplete thought in your speech when you started talking about hairstyles and the color of your nail paint. And then you left it there and you started talking about blue being masculine and girls wearing pink and all that. I would have really loved it if you would have developed about the thought about being judged on hairstyles and nail paint a little bit more before going on to something else. Please keep this this in your mind in the future. Secondly, Dr. Hamza, you had a beautiful opportunity for some character development. You had time and you had a sister in your speech. Maybe you could have given a name to your sister and made her come alive by saying, my sister
was like a mother to me. And she advised me this and this. Yes, that would have made her come alive. Thirdly, Toastmaster Hamsa, I wish there was some voice modulation. Your sister and you were sounding a little bit similar. If you would have added a little higher tone, maybe that would have made the drama come alive. Fourth, Toastmaster Hamsa, yes, online meetings limits us, but we have this stage. Let us use the stage to divide our speech into segments. Speak over here, then go over here, talk about being judged by your friends. Here, enact the one about your sister, then comes close to the camera and smile and say, smile in front of judgment. Yes, overall, Toastmaster Hamsa, beautiful speech, the justification of title, a body modulation, and powerful ending. If you could have just included, incorporated the thought a little bit more, use voice modulation and stage choreography, I'm sure this speech will take you to another level. What do you say?
Thank you. Contestant number 5 will observe a minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. I'll request timer 2 to share a red card once the minute is over. I'll request all the previous contestants to keep your video on and audio off. I'll also request you to avoid using your mobile phones till the last contestant is done speaking.
Contestant number 2, Toastmaster Aditro, please can you avoid using your phone? Thank you.
We have our next contestant, Shilpa Agarwal, in the main room. Thank you so much, timer 2. We will be doing a quick audio video check. You can open your sheet and you can watch if you want. But first, please repeat after me. It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
Perfect. I confirm that you're both audible and visible. I'll request a timer 1 to share the timing cards.
Wait a minute, I'm really sorry to interrupt. Can we, Toastmaster Shilpa, can you please remove your
Yes,
blur background?
virtual background. Can you please remove that? Toastmaster Shilpa, you have to remove your virtual background.
I don't have a background, actually, it's just blurred.
Yeah, I mean, that blurred background you have to remove.
Okay, I'm just doing it.
Right. Thank you. Can you please confirm the color that is visible on screen?
White, green, yellow, red.
Perfect. I confirm that you are also able to see the timer cards properly and you have been spotlighted. Shilpa Agarwal, contestant number 6. Contestant number 6, Shilpa Agarwal.
We are all unique. You are right. And thank you to remind us that because no matter how much we try, but we do fall in this fear of judgment trap. Good evening, contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, judges, and especially Toastmaster Hansa. Toastmaster Hansa, thank you for that wonderful message and that wonderful speech you have given to us. The best thing that I liked about your speech was the smile that you have throughout your speech. It was so calm and composed that while listening to you, watching you delivering that speech, I myself felt so calm and composed, even though I had to evaluate you. The second best thing that I liked about your speech was your time when you acted your sister's conversation. You acted her pretty well. You used the stage while acting her. So kudos to you for using that stage choreography also. The third thing that I really liked about your speech was the message that you gave in your speech. It was so much needed because every time we keep on saying others that we should not think what others think about us, but we do fall in others' opinion, especially for ourselves. We keep on thinking what will they think about us. And thank you for delivering this speech and giving us this message that we should not do it. Toastmaster Hansa, every day give us a new learning, and in Toastmasters, especially this, you can see this every day whenever you are attending any meeting or giving any speech. So today also, I have few recommendations for you that will help you to take your speech to another level. So Toastmaster Hansa, I would really like to see if you have started your speech with an great energy. You could have started with a question, with a quote, especially you could have started asking, how many of you fear of being judged? That helps all the audience immediately to put their attention towards your speech. The second recommendation that I would like to give is you could have used more of the drama and expressions to your speech. When you talk that how after your conversation with your sister, you were about to cry, you could put some sadness to your face, that how you felt like crying. You could say that I was about to cry. You could have add more expressions, raise your voice, lower your voice, so that it can add more dimension to your speech. And the third is your camera angle. I know it is not always possible, but try as much as possible to keep your camera angle 90-degree at your level so that we cannot see your hand just like this. Overall, Toastmaster Hansa, your speech was amazing, with great smile, with good stage usage, and with a great message. If you can just work on your energy, your expressions, and definitely your camera angle, so that your hand gestures can be more visible. Over to you, Toastmaster Hansa, you have done a great job today. And thank you for reminding us that we are artists of our own life and we should not give our paintbrush in anyone else's hand. And I think those contest chair also agree to this point.
Thank you. Contestant number 6. We'll observe a minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. I'll request timer 2 to share a red card once the minute is over. I'll request all the other contestants to please keep your video on and audio off till the last contestant is done speaking. Thank you. Thank you. Timer 2. We have our contestant number 7 in the main room. You can open your sheet if you want. But meanwhile, we'll do a quick audio video check. Please repeat after me and first unmute yourself. And please repeat after me. It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
It is a beautiful evening to have this contest.
Perfect. You're both audible and visible. I'll request timer 1 to share the timing cards.
White, green, yellow, red.
Perfect. I confirm that you're both audible, visible, able to see the timer cards properly and have been spotlighted. Satyadeep Basu, contestant number 7. Contestant number 7, Satyadeep Basu.
The greatest prison that a person lives in is probably the fear of what others will think about him or judge him. And good evening, fellow Toastmasters, contest chair, and Hansa in particular, who rekindled that thought and even suggested a remedy for the same. Hansa, I particularly liked the calm and composed demeanor that was present throughout the speech, with a smiling face, extremely calm. I also liked the way you constructed your speech. It was a beautiful story of your fear of being judged by others, and in the later part of the consultation with your sister, how you overcame it. You had the small nuances which created a vivid imagery, just like pink means feminine, blue means masculine, or your different hairstyles and nails that you thought and displayed, and how you were conscious of yourself when others commented on you. Now, Hansa, this particular speech can really be a gem, GM, if you follow few of my suggestions. The first, G, being in terms of gestures. Now, you had ample opportunity of gestures, as in putting an put your hand inside the electric socket, or maybe as we grow up, or in sometimes when you said that the way I walked. These gestures could have been demonstrated. E for expressions. In the speech, you said that it was nasty. So when you talk about nasty, your expression in the face should be in tandem with what you are saying. And M being for modulation, where I was scared of being judged. And since this is a persuasive speech, I was expecting a little bit of more persuasive tone in your voice modulation. M also for movement. Since you're delivering the speech in a standing mode, you could have moved in the podium, be it your pre-realization and post-realization phase. Also, during when you got an advice from your sister, the characterization of your sister and you could have been demonstrated. And also M for the message. I thought the message that you tried to deliver could have been reinforced once again. Emphatically come in front towards the camera and say, don't be fear of being judged by others, just be yourself. So overall, Hansa, a very calm and composed demeanor speech in the storytelling manner, well done. If you can work on the gestures, voice modulation, and the facial expression coupled with the movement, that would have been the icing on the cake. Over to the contest chair.
Thank you, contestant number 7. We will observe 2 minutes of silence for the judges to mark the ballots and submit the same to our chief judge. I'll request our timer 2 to show a red card once the 2 minutes is over. I'll request all the contestants to stay on camera, visible, but muted. Thank you. Toastmaster Abhijit, please keep the video on. Thank you, Toastmaster Akanksha, timer 2. With that, we conclude the first semifinals of the evaluation contest of VirtuoMasters Club. Yes, Toastmaster Satyadeep.
I have to return this laptop to my son for his tuition,
Right.
so I can drop off and again rejoin
Sure.
with some other device.
You can. Since some of you will be leaving, I'll just share one small thing for all of you. Just give me 1 minute. Small token of appreciation since you guys participated. So let's give a round of cheer for our first contestant, Toastmaster Shalu Gupta. Next, we have Toastmaster Aritro Vishwas. You can unmute if you want. We can give a round of applause for Toastmaster Abhijit Bose. Toastmaster Panna Rashmi Ray. Toastmaster Shilpa Agarwal. And Toastmaster Satyadeep Basu. Thank you. We'll give 5 minutes of break and we will begin our second semifinals. Is that okay, Madam Chief Judge?
Yes, please, Sir Contester. Yes, Toastmaster Shilpa. You wanted to say something?
No, she will be leaving. I think she was asking that. Yeah,
Alright.
if you want the first semifinals contestants, you can leave if you want.
I'll join back in a different device.
Sure. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you. At the second semifinal contestants, if we can have you on screen once before we begin. I'll just name the contestants once. So we have Toastmaster Shraddha. I'll just check whether they are there or not. Toastmaster Shraddha, Toastmaster Amrish, Toastmaster Kshitij, Toastmaster Rima, Toastmaster Seema. I'll check with Toastmaster Anangshu. He hasn't joined. So when we begin in the next 5 minutes, if he joins, well and good. Otherwise, Madam Chief Judge, please note that contestant number 6 will also not be there as a contestant.
Thank you.
We'll take 5 more minutes and we'll start. Thank you for the patience. We will begin in 5:25. 2 more minutes. Great. I confirm that our test speaker is both audible and visible, is able to see the timer cards properly, and has been spotlighted. Our test speaker for today is Dr. Kiran Nataraj with her speech title, Adventure of Chutney and Cheese. Adventure of Chutney and Cheese, Dr. Kiran Nataraj. Over to you.
I was quite slim and trim about 25 years back. No, I mean 7-8 years. I used to often travel to my hometown by bus. You know that bus, the standard government bus, which is always overfull and tilted to one side? Yes, that one. As soon as the bus would enter the bus station, we would hear, Bangalore, Bangalore, Bangalore. And then I would run and jump and put my bag through the window over the seat to reserve. I was slim and trim. As soon as in that three-seater, at least 4 adults would adjust somehow. And then 3 more children would just adjust anyhow. Contestant, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. Good evening. Welcome to the world of travel with misadventures and crazy experiences. So while I was traveling in such bus, there was a tiffin storage compartment on the top where a tiffin box was kept. On a speed bump, it fell right on top of me. And I was literally and figuratively chutney all over. I was flustered and I got angry. At that particular time, a drop of chutney dripped over here and I licked it. At the same time, the tiffin girl offered me the remaining idli and chutney. Now tell me, how can anybody resist such yummy idli and chutney? That too for free. That day, I made a friend for a lifetime. And even now, we are in touch, exchanging recipes of chutney. Moving on, a couple of years back, we booked a holiday to Paris, the capital of fashion, cheese, and wine. Well, I was super excited. I got clothes from Lajpat, handbags from Sarojini Market, sunglasses from Chandni Chowk, and loaded my suitcase with loads of eatables, khakra, fafra, tepra, dhokla, and parleji. Well, in Paris, while I was shopping, I came across this beautiful scarf, which was a vibrant blue color, and it was on display. I was attracted to it. I went near. It was mentioned 13 euros. Well, 13 euros, 13 into 77. That's what we do, right? When we Indians go to touristing foreign countries, 13 into 1,000 rupees. Oh my God, 1,000 rupees for one scarf? I can get 5 scarves in Lajpat Nagar for 1,000 rupees. Well, I was too tempted. And obviously I started bargaining. But the shopkeeper, he said, Madam, it is only 13 euros and that too after 20% discount. Well, being an Indian and a woman, something happens to us when we hear sale, buy one, get one free, 50% discount. And if you over and above, if you mention only, everything is less. For example, 13 euros, only 13 euros for a scarf. Only 100 rupees for 1 kg tomato. Only 5 spoons of sugar in 1 cup of tea. Kadak. Well, how could we end the experience of Paris without trying out the famous French wine and cheese? So on that evening, we went on to explore the authentic French wine and cheese at a recommended street cafe. We ordered a very good French wine and a cheese platter like a connoisseur. Well, a girl who had a lifetime experience of only Amul cheese had culinary shock out there. The cheese was salty, smelly, and cheesy. Well, I was in a catch-22 situation. Neither could I eat it, neither could I leave it. Such an expensive platter. So like Indians do, make it into a goodie bag. I brought it home and packed it in the suitcase. As soon as I reached home, I thought I'd share it with everybody what teas we had. Opened my suitcase and trust me, important tip, never keep your cheese in your suitcase unless it is sealed airtight, especially blue cheese. Fellow Toastmasters, the traveling can be totally fun or not always. Depends, similar situations, misadventures like chutney and cheese. But one thing, it opens your mind to the world of possibilities, ideas, and experiences, even misadventures. But not the least, it will make a storyteller out of you, which you can share in Toastmasters. In the words of Saint Augustine, as I said, the world is a book. And if you have not traveled, you're just read one page. Contestant.
Thank you, test speaker. We will observe 5 minutes of silence for the contestants to note down their evaluation points. I'll request our timer to please share a red card once the 5 minutes are over. Thank you, timer 2. I'll request all the contestants to please stop writing. Please fold the paper in at least two folds, and please make it visible on screen. Two folds at least. Great. So please ensure that it is visible when you are there in the breakout room. 2 rules: you have to keep your video on at all times and your audio on as well. Okay. I'll be allotting you opening the breakout room. You should be getting the prompt. Great. We have our chief judge. So chief judge, should we start?
Yes, please.
Thank you. We'll start off. You can see your note, Toastmaster Shraddha. We'll start off with your audio video check. So please repeat after me. It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
I confirm that you're both audible and visible. Is there any way that your head, top portion of your head do not get cut off?
Is this good?
Yes, it looks good. I will request the timer to please share the timing cards. Can you please confirm the color that is visible?
It's white. Green. Yellow. Red.
Perfect. I confirm you'll also be able to see the timer cards properly who have been spotlighted. Shraddha Lama, contestant number 2. Contestant number 2, Shraddha Lama.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and contest chair and chief judge and Toastmaster Kiran Natras in particular. So I wanted to start from somewhere else, but then I'll have to start from the title of the speech. Adventure of Chutney and Cheese. We all Indians love chutneys, and though it's not Indian, but we still love cheese. So you had me when I heard the name of the title. The way you've started, the Slim and Trim story, some 25 years back, that was a lovely way to start because I was very interested to hear your stories when you were slim and trim. That was some interesting way to start your speech. Throughout your speech, I saw you calm and composed. Not just calm and composed, but I could see the smile throughout. Not just you were smiling, but you made me smile throughout your speech. With the little humors, the shopping you went to Sarojini Nagar, the Parleji and the scarf, the calculation of the amount which we Indians do when we travel outside, those bits and parts of humor made your speech flawless, full of humor, and made us all smile throughout the speech. Not to forget the body gestures and your facial expressions were unmissable. Licking up the chutneys, going for shopping, everything was just perfect with respect to the facial expression and body gestures. Definitely lovely way to end the speech. And though I was smiling throughout your speech, I was fearing from inside because I was not finding a lot of points for recommendations. But still, I could get a few, and here are some recommendation points. 1, the stage choreography. Though you had the best ever facial expressions and gestures, I thought there was a scope of better choreography. You could have used a lot of space on the stage there. That is one of the recommendations. The next thing is, you mentioned twice or three times about you being slim and trim long back, but I wanted to hear a little more about how the stories go when you were slim and trim and now when you are on the healthier side. So that would have made it more interesting for me, because the first thing you started was from the slim and trim. So over and all, I was completely happy with your speech because it made me smile throughout. The first a few of the recommendations were on the title, the name of the title, the way you started. Third thing, the calm and composed, and the smile you had throughout. And the fourth thing was your body gestures and facial expressions. Two things I would recommend you to work on was better stage choreography. Though you had lovely body gestures and expression, choreography could be better. And the second thing, you could bring in a few more stories about you being slim and trim and now a little chubbier side. Thank you so much. Over to you, Sir Contest Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Contestant number 2. We'll observe a minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. I'll request timer 2 to please share a red card after the minute is over. And I'll request our contestant number 2 to please keep your video on and audio off till the last contestant is done speaking. We have our next contestant in the main room. Toastmaster Amrish, please repeat after me. It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
It's a beautiful evening to start the contest.
Perfect. One feedback that I can give you, is there any quick way to put to align the video camera to your eyes with your eyes?
Yes.
Better, yes.
I'm audible.
You're audible. You're audible and visible. I'll request a timer to please share the timing cards. And I'll request you to confirm the color that is visible on screen.
White. Green. Yellow. Red.
Thank you. Amrish Bhuwania, contestant number 3. Contestant number 3, Amrish Bhuwania.
Good evening, contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, dear guest, and Dr. Kiran in particular. You have made this evening, I'm feeling hungry in this evening after listening to your speech. You have brought chutney, cheese, and fries, and it added in my menu for tonight. What a speech! Travel. Everyone connects with this topic because in nowadays I have seen people have changed their habit of traveling. They want to travel, and in last 1.5 years, everyone want to go outside, and you have added a story on this. You have given true picture of Indian buses where we have seen overcrowd and how you have given the picture that you have faced in a bus. You have used facial expressions to show that. The way you have tasted the chutney in that bus, the way you have that the way you have shown the expression for the cheese in Paris, the way you have described the scarf price and your bargaining tendency in a foreign country shows how good you are in speaking. There is the voice modulation when you are negotiating, and you have also shown your facial expression when there was stinking in the cheese when you have opened the suitcase. You have used your both hands for expressing yourself. You have engaged myself to the speech. I want to give you a small recommendation so that this speech can be a better speech. You have drama in the speech and you have utilized that. But if you have added that after there was chutney all over you, how you can add that drama, how you have cleaned that, or there were some initial fight with that person, or how you have overcome that chutney over your face. Second, when you were in the hotel in Paris, you may add some conversation to what type of dish or what you want to order. So, and you have also added the humor in your speech at many places. So it was in your speech there was a humor, you were a storyteller, you had a drama, but you have added a little bit of more drama. It can be a much better speech. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Contestant number 3. We'll observe a minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. I'll also request the timer 2 to please share a red card once the minute is over, and the contestants to keep their video on and audio off. Thank you, timer 2. We have our next contestant, Toastmaster Kshitij, in the main room. You can open your sheet now and you can look into it. But meantime, we will do a quick audio video check. So please repeat after me. It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
It is a beautiful evening to have this contest.
Perfect. You're both audible and visible. I'll request a timer to share the timing cards. Toastmaster Aparajita. Yes. Toastmaster Kshitij, can you please confirm the color that is visible on screen?
Right now it is white. White.
Yeah.
Green. Yellow. Red.
Perfect. I confirm that you're both audible and visible and able to see the timer cards properly and have been spotlighted. Kshitij Shresht, contestant number 4. Contestant number 4, Kshitij Shresht.
About 4,000 years ago, when men discovered fire, they would sit around a campfire and tell stories. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how much we as humans are without storytelling. Good evening, contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, dear judges, and Toastmaster Dr. Kiran Natraj in particular. You had a humorous speech, and believe me, it is not easy to make the audience laugh, not just smile. And to be honest, ma'am, I was controlling my laugh on the screen. When you talked about, I was quite slim and trim about 5 years back. No, 8 years back. They showed that you had great speech structure. So speech structure and storytelling, tick marked. Second, voice modulation. When you talked about, hey, Bangalore, this quite created an impression of daily life activities that we see in our normal days. So great job done there. Third, you had significant pauses between sentences which you delivered. For examples, three adults somehow and three children anyhow. So this kind of created a persona of that situation when people are scrambled in a public bus. So great job done there too. Fourth, a proper call to action. You said that traveling is not easy at all, but indeed it opens an endless prism of infinite possibilities. And being an avid traveler myself, Dr. Kiran, I completely support you on this point. Now, to be an even good speaker, you have to be an even better seeker. So here are the points of recommendations. First is the eye contact. I noticed that while you were delivering your speech, you were seeing that phone screen rather than this small, pesky but important camera on. So what it does is it creates a synchronism between the speaker, which is you, and the audience, and being extremely particular with me. So please keep in mind with this. Second, stage utilization. When you talked about that shopkeeper situation with you being in Paris, you could have changed your positions like this and said, like, ma'am, it's just 13 euros. So along with voice modulation, it could have created more drama in that point of view. Third is the verbal thing, which is I noticed that you were going on a linear pace all throughout the speech. But Toastmaster Kiran, even though you had great voice modulation, but a proper pacing of speech is much more beneficial to create more integrament. So overall, you had great speech structure, great storytelling. You had voice modulations. You used pauses between sentences. You had proper call to action. But if you work on using stage, maintaining eye contact, and pacing your voice according to the situations, you will be an exemplary speaker and make sounding a cheese and chutney even more tastier. Contest here.
Thank you, contestant number 4. We will observe a minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. I'll request timer 2 to please share a red card once the minute is over. And I'll request all the contestants in the main room to please keep your video on and audio off. By contestants, I mean only the semi-finale 2 contestants. Thank you, timer 2. We have our next contestant, Toastmaster Rima, in the main room. Toastmaster Rima, you can go through your note, not a problem. Meanwhile, we'll do a quick audio video check. So please repeat after me. It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
Can you repeat once more?
It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
Perfect. I'll request the timer to please share the timing cards. Toastmaster Rima, can you please confirm the color that is visible on screen?
Right. Blue, yellow, Red.
Thank you so much. I confirm that you are also able to see the timer cards properly and you have been spotlighted. Rima Dash, contestant number 5. Contestant number 5, Rima Dash.
Evening, my fellow Toastmasters, Chief Judge, Chief Contestant, to all the other guests, and particularly to our speaker, Toastmaster Dr. Kiran. Yes, you're correct. The world is a book, and if you do not travel, you have read just only one page. I do agree with your quote. The moment you have started the speech, I was just like, wow, with a smile, the expression, the voice clarity was on point. So kudos to you for that. I could able to hear each and every word, the word which you were pronouncing, it was clear to me. The part when you started it, the journey, the Bangalore, the humorous part which you added in your speech, it really, I smiled throughout the speech which you were saying. You acted up, you even acted the way it's the crowded bus you have traveled in. And when it they take a turn and the way you tilt, I really like that because I normally travel through bus, so I know that experience how it is. So I could really connect to it. And then when you said about it, the part when the dosa idli, that thing that fell on you, and you just licked it, and it just the way you showed it by licking it, it was really good. So the humorous touch which was in your part, I really connected to it. And it was just, I will say, good to use it in that various way. Your expressions, the way you said it, the way you expressed in the various way in your speech by showing it, kudos to you for that. But there were some places where I felt that you could improve, uh, improve into it. That the point where you said about that you got angry. So there I couldn't get that voice model that you were angry. For me, it was like normal. You just said it that you were angry. So a little bit of expression, it would work masterpiece with you in that point when you would have shown a little bit of angry and that anxiety. And if you would have said, I was angry, that point, it would look just wow into that part. Then when you were acting, when you went to Paris, from Bangalore to you went to Paris and you were describing that the shopkeeper said to you, uh, and you should have little bit of acted up like them and you should have the shopkeeper try to pursue you that to buy it, and we being Indians, how we behave, calculating and all. So that part, little bit of that acting up, if you would have done in that place, it would have been just perfect. But one more thing which I personally felt that the connection point, that from the moment we went to Bangalore to Paris, that connection point that I couldn't connect to. Somewhere I thought in between it got lost. So I really wanted to get that connection because overall I just loved the way you started your speech, the way you added your humorous part, then the expression you showed in various places. I would have recommended to but little bit places where you would have shown that expression, that anger part, or the acting up part with you and the shopkeeper, and that point to connection. I would like to hear you next time. Thank you, and over to you, Chief Contest Chair.
Thank you. Contest number 5. We will request that we will observe a minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. I'll request timer 2 to please share the red card once the minute is over. I'll request the current semifinals 2 contestant in the main room to please keep your audio off and video on. Thank you. Thank you, timer 2. We have our last contestant in the main room. You can open your sheet if you want. Meanwhile, we'll do a quick audio video check. So please repeat after me. It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
It's a beautiful evening to have this contest.
Perfect. I also request the timer to please share the timer cards. And I'll request you to confirm the color.
White.
Timer.
Green. Yellow. And red.
Thank you. I confirm that you're both audible and visible. You're able to see the timer cards properly and you have been spotlighted. Seema Ramesh, contestant number 7. Contestant number 7, Seema Ramesh.
Travel and cuisine always go hand in hand. And today, I was really satisfied to know about the adventures of chutney and cheese, both very, very favorite and dear to my heart. Contest chair, members of the audience, and Toastmaster Dr. Kiran, who is the reason for my satisfaction today. Toastmaster Kiran, I was really, really hooked by just hearing the title of your speech, The Adventures of Chutney and Cheese. And that really, really made me understand that you were going into something very, very major that I could take back with me. I enjoyed the gestures, the awesome gestures, which I felt was the pièce de résistance of your speech, the masterpiece. Sipping of the tea, ding, 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 Bengaluru, Bengaluru. That got me so engrossed in your speech. And I was just waiting to see where your speech would proceed. And you gave me a beautiful, beautiful adventure from Bengaluru to Paris and the cuisine that followed along with it. Your flow was brilliant, the structure of your speech. What really got me stuck to your speech was the humor which you used, the currency conversion that we Indians are always known for, and a little bit of the habits, the phrases like culinary shock, which you had when you went down to Paris and saw the variety of cheese rather than the cheddar cheese. All of this really got me into a very, very comfortable situation listening to your speech. Dr. Kiran, I would love to add a little pinch of salt to your sweet dish, because you may know, since you seem to be a culinary genius, that anything that is sweet, a little pinch of salt added to it will expand or make the sweet dish even more better. I would have loved to have had you start off with something different, because you started off with how you were slim and trim, and then you forgot all about it. You could have easily started your speech off with Bengaluru, ding, ding, Bengaluru. That would have caught my attention moreover. I also appreciate if you would have had a proper eye contact, because I felt that you were looking a little towards the side. Maybe your camera need to be positioned a little more so that I could have enjoyed every little bit of humor that you brought on. Thirdly, I would have appreciated if you could have added a little more into your speech about how you wanted me to make sure that I need to travel to have those pages open in my life, a little bit more of examples. So Dr. Kiran, in summation, if you could add a little pinch of this salt that I have recommended, you could have made your speech a lot more sweeter than the already sweet humor, the beautiful gestures, and the overall meaning of your speech, the message that you wanted to give me, ending with the quote from St. Augustine about having to travel in order to broaden your base. Thank you so much, Dr. Kiran, and over to you, contest chair.
Thank you. Contestant number 7, we'll observe a minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. We'll observe 2 minutes of silence for the judges to mark their ballots and submit to the CJ. Since this is the last contestant, I'll request our timer 2 to please share a red card once the 2 minutes are over. I'll request all the semi-finale 2 contestants to please keep your video on and audio off till the 2 minutes are over. Thank you. Timer. We will. This now concludes the semi-finale 2 of the evaluation contest in VirtuoMasters Club. So let us give a huge round of cheer for all of us. We have done it. 2 semi-finals in one day. It's completed. We'll now obviously waiting for the results. I will be announcing it in a bit later. But first, let me carry on the tradition which I followed for the semi-finale 1, and I will be showing you a small token of appreciation for participating today in this contest. Just let me know at any point of time if your names are correctly spelled or not. Otherwise, I'll change that. Okay, so give a big round of applause for Toastmaster Shraddha. Round of applause for Toastmaster Amrish. Toastmaster Kshitij. Toastmaster Rima. And Toastmaster Seema Ramesh. Thank you so much to all of you for participating today. I know it's not been that easy because you are there since the very beginning, but some other people were also there from the very beginning. So I'll also like to extend my thanks to my role players in the form of my 2 timers and my sergeant at arms. So again, small token of appreciation for both of you. Toastmaster Aparajita, our timer 1. Toastmaster Akanksha, our timer 2. Toastmaster Bharat, our sergeant at arms, who were very diligent by the way in both the contests. And it's his first time playing this role as well. So extra special cheer for him. How can I forget my awesome 2 test speakers who gave such wonderful speeches today. So let me also extend my appreciation to our test speaker first, test speaker number 1, Toastmaster Hansa Kaushik, and Toastmaster Dr. Kiran Nataraj. Thank you so much to all of you for being there. I'll just check whether the results are in or not. I know that the result for the first contest is there. Okay, results are not in yet. Okay. Delete. So I'll just, since some of us are still here, some of the contestants, I know that at least for 2 of you, it's the first time. So I'd like to know how was your experience as a contestant? And I'll start with Toastmaster Rima. If I'm not wrong, it's your first contest. So how was your experience?
First of all, I was very nervous.
So did it feel like classroom when you were in the breakout room?
When we are giving out the papers, the children are going through the papers and we are telling them, don't do this, look into the paper. It was something like that.
So now, after this experience, like you have gone through, so what is your opinion now? What is your feedback now?
Good experience, because it's very easy, just normally to say, but we never hear and go through each and everything. So it is a very tough thing. Before it, I was like, okay, you have to just say and you have to just normally say, okay, this thing is not good. But to go in details, that is something which I really needed to figure it out, and it's really helped me a lot by listening to each and everything, to point out those particular point and say, so it's improving, and it's also improving me also to listen to the speaker nicely.
Definitely. I mean, it's in a good evaluator is always a good speaker. That's what I think. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Rima, for participating. And now I'll come to our second debut contestant for today, Toastmaster Kshitij. How was your experience?
So the overall experience was really good. See, a contest is really different, but the only point of concern for me was how to summarize what I have written. Like for me, it is a new thing. I'm not, it was like my fifth or fourth evaluation after being in Toastmasters. So that was the thing.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Osmata Kshitij, for your participation as well. Now, I'll not make you wait any longer since we have waited long enough. I have the contest results. Madam Chief Judge, should I announce it?
Yes, so contest here. Let's begin.
Great. I'll first go with the semi-finals one, and I will only declare the winners in no particular order. Okay. So for semi-finals one, there has been 2 disqualifications on account of time. So sad. So the winners of the semi-finals one of the evaluation contest in VirtuoMasters clubs are Satyadeep Basu, Panna Rashmi Ray, and Shalu Gupta. A huge round of applause for these 3 winners from semi-finals one. Now coming to semi-finals two. Dun, 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 dun. The winners of the semi-finals 2 of the evaluation contest in VirtuoMasters Club are Seema Ramesh, Kshitij Shresht, and Shraddha Lama. A huge round of applause for our winners from semi-finals 2. Please note that there has been no disqualification in semi-finals 2. So yay to all the contestants. Great job done. That's it. So Madam Chief Judge, would you like to say something about this club, about this contest, anything you like?
It has been a wonderful experience to like witness the semi-finals one and semi-finals two, and to all the role players who has been really very supportive. So for any contest, there is not just the participants who are scared of coming up and who will be presenting their speech for the speech evaluations, but all the role players who put in so much efforts to maintain the decorum. I know at times we have to be a little harsh, or maybe I can say strict, because of the rules and the guidelines. Otherwise, we are also very nice people. We also smile and love to make jokes. So you can always have us around in the normal meetings as well. But yeah, like when it comes to the contest, we have to be little, to maintain a little disciplines and the guidelines being provided. So at times there are rules that need to be maintained. But it has been, you all have been very supportive, and it's been a great contest that you all were there. Like there was no flaws, and everyone was very supportive in terms of conducting and going through the rules and regulations and everything. So a big kudos to all the winners. You have done fantastic job, and to our sir contester for all the support by briefing the role players, and a special mention to Toastmaster Krish for being there. He has been a great support. So with this, I would like to hand over the stage back to our contestant, Toastmaster Sagar.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Yashika. Big round of applause for our chief judge for today. And obviously, thanks to the invisible judges who were there and if are there, if I'm not sure. So thank you so much. And that concludes the semifinals of the evaluation contest in VirtuoMasters. Well, I'd like to ask one thing to Toastmaster Krish. So Krish, is there any update on the finals date? So I can, you can unmute. It's not, yeah.
You are on mute.
Again on mute, okay.
It's on December 11th, next Saturday.
Okay, so you heard it. The winners, please be there on December 11th, same time, I think 4 p.m. It will be there. So that's it. All the best from my end, and a huge round of appreciation to each one of you for participating today, and huge number of participation from a club. Trust me, it's a big thing that you all stepped up. Special mention to Toastmaster Krish. I know that you have been pushing people, so a great job done as an AD, as an great. So thank you so much, everyone. I'll conclude the conclude the contest here, and all the best.